All right, to start this second part, you're going to go to Illustrator Pen Tool Part 2. You should have already completed Part 1. It won't allow you to open up Part 2 until you've completed this. So you're going to open up Illustrator Pen Tool Part 2. You should have some floral delete symbols and then some other images. What you want to do is you want to download this floral delete symbol. So click on it. And then where it says download, download that to your downloads. So it should go down into your downloads. Then go to Illustrator. And then once you open up Illustrator, and if you want to close this out before you do that, that's up to you. Go to File and go to Open this time. Not New, we're going Open. And then I've downloaded this image 2 or 3 times, so you're going to find the flower de lis symbol that you downloaded and open that up. Now it's going to be really large for now, so what you need to do is hold down on the Shift and the Alt and then scroll, and if you remember that will show your image. But you're going to see this little square right here. Well, that's the image we need to get this. So this image is too big for our working space. So you're going to click on it, and you should be able to see the anchor points. Remember, we want to go to the corner, but we also want to hold down on the Shift button. And if you hold down on the Shift, that's going to keep it all in proportion. So scale that down a little bit until it fits just right. And again, make sure you're holding the Shift button. All right, now we've got it fitting in that image, and we can enlarge that back up. So I'm going back to Shift and Alt, and I will enlarge that, and then I will move that image back over. So, and if you click outside, then that gets rid of that blue box. Okay, something else we need to talk about really quick is the layers panel. Over here in your palette, you should have a layers panel, and mine is right here. Yours may be in a different order, just depends, because you can change these around. If you do not see this layers panel, or the layers image thing, come over here to Windows, and then click on layers, and then that should pop up over here. So we're going to click on layers, and right now it just shows one layer, and that's our image layer. So what we want to do is we want to double click on this because we're going to rename it. So if you double click, it'll allow you to rename it. I want you to rename it image. And then just click return. And then we are going to add a second layer. So to add a second layer, you're going to click, if you go to this little paper with the fold, and if you keep your mouse over the top of it, it tells you that it's create a new layer. That's what we want to do. So we want to create a second layer. And on this layer, we're going to double click it and name it working image, or we'll go working layer. Alright, now there's a few other things you need to know about the working layer versus the image layer. We want two different layers here, because what we're going to do is we're going to do the pin technique over the top of this, but we want to be able to click this on and off so we can see it. So if I did the pin tool and came over here and did a few different things and made a shape, and then I was finished with that, if I clicked on this eyeball, these eyeballs over here are to show the visibility of your layer. So if we take the image off, then we can still see this. So if we were going over the top of that, we would see that. You just click that eyeball again, it comes back up. If we don't want to see the working layer, we turn that off. So this helps you kind of arrange. You can also move these layers down so one's over the top of the other. We're not going to worry about that right now, but we'll worry about that in future projects. So you want to be able to see both images. Something else I want you to be aware of, notice this is kind of highlighted with a lighter gray or kind of a bluish tint. That means that's the layer you're working on. Okay, and you don't want to work on the image layer. We want to work on the layer over the top of it. And actually, I'm going to move that back up because I want that up. Command Z if you mess something up there. And I don't know what I just did there, but we'll leave that there. We want the working layer on top of this so we can see it over the top of it. So if I would start clicking on to go and do my pin tool, something else you may want to do is make sure that you are clicked on an image color, which she'll talk to you about in the next video, but make sure it's bright enough that you can see. Okay, so anyways, the layers, once again, they kind of went apart. If it comes up, then you can pull this out too, so you can see it a little bit better. You can delete layers, you can lock layers. So if I don't want this image layer to move, I can click over here and it locks it. We do want to be able to move some things around in the working layer, so don't lock it. Okay, so highlighted means the one you're working on. We want to work on the working layer, so make sure that you're switched over to that and make sure that the image is locked. Okay, all right, you should be ready for the next video and try to use the pen tool and copy that floral leaf.